I can do a I can wear a vest. I can wear a vest. Trench coats, all that sort of stuff. It's not my bag. I can't pull that off. I can't. But if you give me a vest,
You rock it, do you?
with the right thing, you know, tell you what looks cool. A vest, I think anyway. A vest with like trousers.
Oh, I know what you mean. Like, yeah, go on.
Yeah, like trousers. Then you could do like trainers like this, but nice trainers. Put a necklace on, like not like a chain. You know, and then maybe keep it that way if you're feeling edgy, or chuck a shirt over the top.
Yeah, is that like Miami Vice look or something?
It
isn't
is,
it?
yeah, it is. With the sleeve, get the sleeve out, you know.
Get the sleeve. Oh, you mean if you've got the ink?
Yeah, if you got the ink.
Yeah.
You got the ink. Would you get any ink?
I used to want Thug Life across my abdomen when I was like 16 because Tupac had it.
Did you?
No,
actually?
I didn't want that. No, I didn't want that.
This is the problem. I can't tell with you, James.
No, I didn't want that. No. Yeah. Me growing up in the countryside in Wales with that.
Yeah,
doesn't really fit, does it? It's a little bit different to growing up in Baltimore.
Just sat there like outside your house with the sun shining down on you, top off, just like squinting into the distance, and then you just look down and there's Thug Life.
I'm waiting to see this vest with the trousers now and I know the look.
I've worn it.
Have you? It's like reminds me of like Miami Vice or like Scarface or actually like Patrick Swayze in Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, that's
what you're going to do at your wedding, isn't it?
What,
you're going to rock that look, and then you're going to do the lift.
I can guarantee that is not happening.
That would look.
I have assured Lainey about that.
Why is that?
Because
that should be your thing, especially because you're like, obviously you're like your strength and all that. That's like that should be it.
James, I know exactly what you're doing.
What?
I know exactly what you're doing. That should be it.
What? Come on.
What? Okay, I'll just knock up a fucking Patrick Swayze, one of these out of nowhere. You know, just no practice. I've tried it once before, and she nearly went over my head.
Really?
Imagine that happening. Yeah,
yeah, that's not.
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
No, but I don't know because obviously, like running with momentum is like.
What if I do it to you?
No, it's all right. It's all right.
What if I do it to you?
No.
Why is that?
I'll lift you up if you want.
Well, right, I see. So it's a power dynamic thing, is it?
It is.
All right, that's what it is.
You can be.
So I can be lifted up, but you can't. That's where we're going with this.
Yeah.
Just lift you up, and your crotch is just there in my face.
Figure out. I've gone to this. All I said was you should do that as your first dance at your wedding day, and now you've just like. Lowered it
just right there, you know. No, you would be the one getting lifted.
No, I'm gonna.
Not me.
If you're
I'm not getting lifted, am I?
If I'm there on your wedding day and you're not doing that, I'll be sharing that on my story and being like, Mr. Strongman, Welsh strength coach. Like, not really, is it?
In quotation marks, strength. Yeah, no, I mean, that's a tough one. It's the balance here. It's hard. It's just like...
Just admit it, you're not Patrick Swayze, are you?
No.
He's got proper swag, hasn't he?
No, I gotta admit, Patrick Swayze is pretty cool.
Yeah.
How old was he when he died? He was pretty...
Yeah, well, he's like 50...
Cancer, wasn't it? Was it cancer?
Yeah, I think so,
yeah. Yeah, I gotta admit that he is pretty cool in that film, isn't he? What do you think the coolest person is in a series or a film? Like, if you were to pick, like, who plays the coolest character that you've ever seen?
So like Maverick in Top Gun, and Maverick that's really cool.
Maverick, yeah.
Tom Cruise in that.
Do you think it's a bit cheesy though?
I don't know.
You don't?
No, he's absolutely balling. He's got like the leather jacket on, the aviators. He's like this top pilot.
Even the slow-mo on the beach when they're playing what are they doing? The
volleyball.
Yeah, and it's like all slow-mo.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like the scenes where he's like blasting on the motorbike and then he's like shooting down other people.
You wish you could be Maverick.
Maverick is cool.
Yeah. Okay.
That or
I can take that.
what else is there? I think I've named this one before. We discussed this before. Ryan Philippe as Bobley Swagger in Shooter.
I didn't even know who that is.
Cool. He's cool
What's
in
his
that.
name?
The actor is Ryan Philippe.
Ryan Philippe.
Yeah, Ryan Philippe, whatever you pronounce it. And he plays a sniper in there.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, like proper badass.
Right.
Well, what's yours?
I would go Cillian Murphy as Peaky Blinders.
Oh, I've never seen the series, but I know the character.
Thomas Shelby.
Yeah.
Mate, he is cool in that. Cool as a cucumber.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've never seen Peaky Blinders?
Never watched it, no.
You're missing out. You're missing out. You need to get on that straight away. When you go home, the first thing that you need to do is get on Netflix and whack on some
Why don't
Peaky
you have
Blinders.
because the hairstyle is good with the skin fade and then the long fringe.
Yeah,
Why don't you
yeah.
get that? Because you got the long.
I could pull
long
that
fringe.
off, actually. Yeah, I think I did at one point actually look at that, and the cap as well goes with
the
that
flat cap.
haircut
Yeah.
really well. I think it's like the Baker Boy style, like the Baker Boy hat as well, and he keeps like a blade in the back,
Yeah.
and that's apparently I think it's been like dramatized, but that's what they used to do. They used to like take the caps off and they keep a blade there, and they could just slice and dice. you
Yeah.
know? But you need to watch that, mate.
No, I'll have a look at it.
look at it, yeah. And then his brother in there is like a lunatic, Arthur Shelby.
Yeah.
He's like the wild dog. No, who's in that though is what's his name? Tom Hardy.
Is he in that, is he?
He's in it.
Oh, right.
He plays a really good part. Really good part. Anyway, right. What we get into then? 6-week fat loss challenges.
Apparently so. That's what you want to discuss.
That's
yeah.
what we're going to go for.
Yeah.
But you are right. I did talk about something related to.
It was this week or last
New
week.
Year's,
something,
didn't I?
Yeah, just something briefly about it.
That's right, about how you're going to see now them all come out of the woodwork, you know, like, Bosh, 6-week, 8-week challenge, fat loss, shred. It's the same, obviously, every year, isn't it? You know, you have these things come up into the new year, and I think if we're going to go into it, and we're going to, obviously, I know what our thoughts are, but is there any way that we can maybe steelman? Do you know what steelman?
Yeah.
So is there any way that we can maybe steelman why people do it? Like that from a coach's perspective.
From a coach's perspective.
And how they benefit people as well.
Well, obviously, if someone is unhealthy, let's say they spent the last year not taking care of their health, and then they're going to go into a 6-week aggressive diet.
And aggressive diets, by the way, from what the data shows, for the right person, I think, which is important, they can work really well.
Oh, massively. I mean, Martin's McDonald has discussed loads on this. He's currently put a lot on it about it lately, with a calculator and everything to calculate your deficit and things and estimated weight loss. And there are a few like key benefits to aggressive dieting. Obviously, the results happen quickly, which is very, very motivating, especially if you've got someone who's got quite a lot of weight to shift. Also, because the nature of the deficit being so high, it can actually shut down hunger, which makes it actually easier than being in more of a moderate deficit for some people. So yeah, that's where aggressive dieting is helpful.
Right. So from one perspective, then it can be. It can be beneficial for obviously some people and the right person, and I think that's the problem is when the wrong type of people get attracted to those, which they often do, don't they?
Well, it's fast results, isn't it? Everyone wants every like we all do. Like you speak to my family or something, they probably tell you as a child, a teenager, they say, I don't know, I've got a new toy at Christmas time. I want it built now. I want to play with it now. I want this now. It's just like just the nature of a human being. We want things yesterday. If you want to lose 2 stone, I want to lose it by my holiday in 2 weeks' time. So I'm going to starve myself. Just kind of human nature to want things quicker than we can actually get them.
And then obviously these coaches, then they exploit that too. And then, look, we've been doing this for a while, and I've been in those same meetings talking, unfortunately, to some coaches that say this openly. You know, say, look, this is a great way to
Sell.
sell and to make more money. And ultimately, what they are doing is taking advantage of people that are in a vulnerable spot. The problem that I have with it isn't necessarily, you know, if you want to lose a lot of weight in 6 weeks, it can be done, and it can be helpful for people. Absolutely. That isn't my problem. My problem is the marketing and how it's sold to people. Because when it's, and usually this is how it is, they will market it in a way to exploit these people that are in a situation where they're really insecure and they're vulnerable and all this sort of stuff. They don't show them the reality of what actually it takes to achieve this. And also as well, a lot of people, I think, benefit first from understanding a little bit more about, like, developing their habits, for instance, too. You know, like, a lot of people's habits are, so for instance, like, aggressive dieting for sure it can work, and again, for the right person. But where it comes in for the wrong person is that maybe they haven't developed that good relationship with food themselves, or they haven't got a solid base to then work from, if that makes sense.
Yes,
you know,
big thing. You can get obviously the quick results with anyone, but you need to have. They need to be. I'm not one of those people who be like, oh, you know, don't do a diet, just change your lifestyle and all that, because like an aggressive diet isn't. You know, I talk about sustainability a lot and things, which is what your lifestyle has to be, but your diet doesn't need to be sustainable. And by nature of it, it's not going to be sustainable, because you're not going to live in a deficit long term. If you do, you're going to run into health problems. But you, at the same time, if you're setting someone up on a quick diet, then you also need to be putting in the foreground and be potentially like the steps for after the diet ends, because they can't just go back to where they were.
That's a good point.
And a big thing is if you're helping someone, you know, to improve their health through their nutrition, is don't just take anyone in because they go, I want to lose weight quickly, and have like no conversation with them, because you should be leaving the person in a better position than where they came to you.
Right.
So if you're getting someone a quick result because you're making the diet very aggressive, and someone's gone from what I would call like a freedom eater, where they just, no real consciousness about what they eat, and all of a sudden they come in and they've got all these list of rules where, you're cutting this out, or we're going to strip it right back to basically like protein and veg. There needs to be some groundwork instilled to the person as well, so that they're in a good place when they end the diet. So they don't just go, well, the diet's over, so do I just go back to how I was eating, where it's just like, whatever I fancy, anytime I fancy, or is there a system there?
Let's talk about that groundwork then. What would that look like?
Well, there's obviously got to be some education on the part of the coach and of the client as well, to listen and learn. But really, this is, I think, the most people don't have a weight loss problem. People have a weight maintenance problem. So like any diet can work if it puts you in a deficit, as we know. The problem is how you then maintain and sustain that afterwards. So what a lot of people sell is the weight loss, the fat loss, but they don't sell the maintenance part afterwards. And that's really the key thing. It's like, how many times is it that you buy something, whether it's a new phone or your car, and you're sold an extended warranty? You think, oh, no, I won't need it. And then maybe a year, 2 years down the line, something happens, you drop your phone, you think, oh, shit, I wish I'd taken out the warranty because I could go and get it fixed now. And you could be back where you were. People just think, oh, I'll just do the diet now to get in shape in 4 weeks' time because I'll get the quick results and that's all I care about. It'll all be fine. I don't need, once I've got... I like the look in the mirror, or I've got the photos taken, I don't need coaching anymore after that. It's like, no, that's where you really need the coaching and support and the accountability.
So you think that the big problem with it then is how it's packaged?
Yeah, kind of. And I get it, like the fitness industry loves to sell fat loss in January because, a lot of people have spent the whole month of December, consuming more, drinking more, maybe being more lax in their lifestyle, feeling a bit bloated or maybe out of shape, and so they're looking for that fat loss. It's a prime time to sell it, isn't it? Nothing wrong with that, you know. Lots of people want it, but just done in the right way, and actually with some consideration for the client after you leave them.
Yeah, yes. So basically, it's kind of just like 6 weeks. This is what's going to happen, but then there's nothing follow up after that, and they're just left to their own devices, and that's why they kind of bounce back to their previous weight, because they haven't been equipped with the right knowledge to be able to know how to maintain. Right? Yeah,
exactly. It's selling nutrition coaching rather than selling, you know, the short term fat loss.
Right.
Because if you coach someone correctly on nutrition, you know, like I said, you should leave them in a better place than when they came. And that doesn't mean if someone loses weight quickly with you, they'll maintain all that weight, because some weight regain is shown that that's normal and it's to be expected, because you've been in a deficit. But they shouldn't be, you know, ballooning back to the start.
No.
Or like coming back to you the next January, like, you know, oh, I need to do this again. I need to, you know, just go back to protein and veg or whatever it be to lose the weight again.
That's a great point. And then obviously the expectation's a big part, isn't it? Because that's my problem with these challenges is that they'll pull up these, you know, like the best possible result maybe they've ever had, and you know, it's like this.
I spoke about this literally last night to a client.
Really? Yeah. What were you saying?
Just that all those things you see online. Typically, those are like you posted this morning yourself when you shredded. It would be like, you know, posting like, it's just like that. It's like someone posts a picture of themselves, I don't know, taken when they've got the perfect tan, the best angle, the best lighting. They've been dieting right up to it, and then obviously, you know, selling fat loss off the back of that, rather than like what their everyday look is, you know.
Right, for sure.
It's just, and that's what it should be. Like I spoke to people before, and they're like, oh, I want a 6-pack and all this. Like, I don't know, the 6-pack seems to be something people seem to have some look for it, and I'm like, well, that's fine, you can get that, but really, do you really want the demands and the lifestyle that comes with it to maintain that, which you can have if you want, but consider if you like, you know, just being more chilled with your food intake and drinking every weekend, then that's not going to align with maintaining a 6-pack, and you're going to have to give up a lot more in your life just to maintain a certain look that nobody is going to see apart from maybe your wife or your partner and you know, people on the beach when you're on holiday. So who cares about having a 6-pack, really?
Well, so our entire problem, really, what we've established is how it's packaged, 100%. You know, because you're right. It's like, in terms of the result that they show, the expectation that they set in these challenges, and almost using that as a way to manipulate people into their challenge and to pay the money. That's the problem, isn't it? You know,
of course it is. And don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on, carry on.
No, that was it. Really.
No, I mean, like, you know, I've posted pictures of myself before, like where I was out of shape a number of years back, where I was just out of control with my nutrition and everything, and then kind of like just regular shape I stay in now. I'm by no means ripped. I just maintain a normal lifestyle, but I don't go on diets. I don't go on diets, and I don't have like periods where Christmas comes along and I feel I need to absolutely gorge myself because it's a 1 week period where I need to stuff myself beyond oblivion, and then suffer in January, and just that cycle. And just like, if you can have separate like body composition and diet away from training, like use your training to become a more physically able human being, and then just manage your lifestyle with how you eat and live.
Things.
If you want to, you know, have a certain level of body fat,
and treat them differently.
Yeah, and just, you know, if you eat reasonably healthy, maintain your energy demands, you're going to be reasonably in shape. You don't have to suffer to look a certain way.
Well, if you're constantly doing diets over and over and over again, and you're listening to this, this is your reminder then that you haven't got necessarily a weight loss problem, you got a weight management problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. Like so many people, you know, celebrate the weight loss and it's like it's absolutely amazing, and you've improved your health and improved like lots of health markers by doing this. But the real hard work comes once the diet is over, and you then maintaining. You're not going to maintain that exactly the way where you are now. The scale will go up, but maintaining that healthier position, that's where the real work is.
Yeah, for sure. And
that's where people need support and coaching.
Because that's a good thing, because you've obviously talked there about how you've never been, well, you haven't been on a diet or anything like that. Well,
for years
and years.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like we're never in a diet.
Food eating competition, weren't we? In the last one.
Yeah, like we never diet. You know, we just. But that's, I suppose, because we've got a strong
auto-regulation, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah. And you know, when we go away and stuff like that, you know, we of course enjoy ourselves, but we're also like, both of us are like also conscious as well. You know, like today we were just talking about like what I had for breakfast.
Exactly.
I said, you know, actually I didn't have a lot of protein this morning, so I'm probably gonna like stack up on some more protein now. And it's things like that. You know, you prioritize it. You know, and those are those basic nutrition to me. It is so simple to me. Like there's a lot of stuff in. And of course, you can really get into the weeds about the specifics. Absolutely, you know, like you can with anything. But when you look at it from, you know, principles based, really, you can, you know, and this is how I approach it with my guys, is that I help them initially, you know, and I give them the kind of foundation and the general structure. Like, right, go, you know, like, and just learn through the experience of these principles, you know. And of course, if you need something a bit more specific then, or you come to me and say, actually, Sam, you know, I want to pull back a little bit on my weight, we can talk about that, readjust a couple of things, and that's brilliant. But ultimately, I am not doing my job properly if I'm overcomplicating it and I'm giving you, I'm still supporting you in terms of, like, my overall goal is to help you to a point where you don't need me with nutrition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Training's different. Strength training's different because that gets more complicated the more advanced you become. So it's actually, you know, unless, like, not everybody has a background in periodization and programming to be able to meet the demands of the complexity increase over time. Like, it actually becomes more complicated. But nutrition is just kind of like, you know, just the same, really, isn't it? Once you understand the principles of maybe weight management, you know, as we were talking about. But it's right. It's like how it's packaged, you know, how it's sold to people. Like, morally, to me, I think a lot, their intentions are all over the shop. You know, these coaches. There's nothing wrong. If you want to do a 6-week aggressive diet, the research would suggest, as Martin says, that they work really well. But the problem is how it's done, how it's packaged, and who is sold to too. Because the reality is, you have a lot of these people wanting to do these fat loss challenges, don't need to do them. No. You're looking at them and you're like, mate, you just need to lift weights for another 4 years, you know, and just put on a bit more muscle tissue. You don't need to lose fat. Yeah. You know, they just need to build a base of muscle tissue, you know, and get a bit stronger. But that's never talked about, is it? You know?
Yeah.
Does my head in, mate. Does my head in. Anyway, any more to add on there?
Yeah, you said then about nutrition, like, you know, being quite simple of that. It is, until you've got then, when someone comes to you and, like, let's say they're a reasonably strong powerlifter. I'll say reasonable because I don't want to praise too much heap. And they're like, oh, how can I improve things? And then some guy who's like pretty switched on with nutrition advises him to eat some like simple carbohydrates.
Yeah, I wonder who that was.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Naming no one here.
Well, mate, it was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough. I was just, because I was squatting high bar. It was like 7 sets of 6. Yeah. And I did the first set at 207.5 kilos.
Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah.
And then I did the other 6 sets of 6 at 190 kilos. And on the last set, I was sat on the edge of the bench and there was nobody else like around. I sent you a picture. The colour came back at that point when I sent you the picture.
Yeah.
But I was just spaced out by the last set. And you're right, though. You know, like when you become more specialised in something as well, I don't think it's quite as complicated as, maybe I'm wrong, but training and how to organise that.
Yeah.
But it does get a little bit more complicated for sure.
Or just things you can use to enhance your performance.
Yeah.
Like the average person doesn't need to be, you know, consuming intra-workout carbs or 6 milligrams per kilogram of body weight to go in and do their arm session or something like that, you know? Obviously, you're moving an absolute shit ton of weight, aren't you, across that six, 7 sets, you know, hideous amount. So for then you want to absolutely eke out as much as you can from your nutrition.
Right, yeah. Well, it helped. I was having the giant strawberries, and this is the thing. You see powerlifters in there, right? And they go through they use it as an excuse to smash through an entire bag of Haribos.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's not good.
No.
You're missing the point there. One, again, from the last episode, like, you're not training hard enough to actually warrant that, you know? And two, you just eating a packet of Haribos for the sake of it now, you know, just and using this as an excuse.
I think you got license just to do that.
Yeah, so like I was only taking the big strawberries when I felt like I needed one, you know, and I felt like, the systemic fatigue was hitting me like a sledgehammer. And I thought I better take one of these, you know. So it's not because I'm not eating those, because, you know, I just it's an excuse to get through, you know, an entire bag of Haribos a session. Well, I think that's an important point to bring up, because some people just think, you know, one end, people think, I'm just going to nail this entire bag today. And on the other end, you've got people that saying, the last's got sugar in it, you know?
That's the thing.
So
where it can be, you know, you've got average person, I don't know, like some person's looking to lose some weight now, and they're sitting in an office all day, not moving much, then just getting their carbs through simple sugars like that isn't going to be a great idea. Someone who's looking for a performance benefit, very helpful. You're not going to sit there with a bowl of rice, are you?
Was that whole thing about LeBron James? Do you remember that? With some criticised. You told me about that, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was it, like pancakes or something?
Yeah, I think he has pancakes and blueberries and syrup or something for breakfast. And, some know-it-all comes on. It's like, you know, not enough fiber in that, blah, 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 not nutritious. And it's like, he's like, one of the best basketball players of all time. He's 40, still performing at the top of his game. Just shut up.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. I know, actually, he need that type of energy-dense meal would actually be a pretty good idea.
Because you play basketball, football. It's like last year. I remember playing a few games at halftime. One of the guys was playing, had Haribos, and he was offering them around. And I rarely ever eat sweets, just not something I go for. But I had some because I was playing left wing, you know, running tons of sprints. Had a few of those. You go back in after halftime, and you just do feel better.
You do feel better,
whether that's placebo or not. You just do.
You do,
and you're obviously depleting a ton of glycogen when you're repeating sprints. So it's helpful.
It is. I won the next week. Because I was up in Bristol, it was Christmas Eve, I was training, and I was like, I'm definitely feeling a lot better.
Yeah.
Should we call that one there? Anything else to add?
No.
Right, let's do a couple of questions then. What's new this week? Let's see. What's the most you'd spend on a pair of lifting shoes? Well, you haven't got any.
I'm going to say, so you go.
This is good advice for you.
yeah.
I would say you'd probably. Well, the thing is, you've got good mobility anyway, haven't you?
Yeah, pretty good mobility.
I do like lifting shoes because I feel like they just help between the connection between your foot and the floor. If you squat like in socks or whatever, then that's. I wouldn't advise socks though,
in case you slip.
In case you slip,
yeah.
Because if you're doing that against, like a wooden surface,
that'd be a disaster for me. Right? Yeah.
So unless you're squatting like barefoot and you've got incredible mobility, you know, which the reality is most people don't. Lifting shoes are great. You know, I the most I'd spend, I'd probably go. Yeah, well, I mean, it depends, doesn't it? It depends on your budget. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'll be on. I spent £190 on my Romaleos too.
Thing is, how long do they last? They'll last for like ever, won't they? Pretty much, or not?
Oh mate, I have no plans on getting rid of them.
Saying
No
was, you think
plans.
of that with football boots. You can easily spend £250 on football
It's
boots, and they'll be
ridiculous.
done in. They could be done in a season.
It's ridiculous. So yeah, I think for that point, spend as much as you can.
Yeah.
You know, like don't skimp out because, yeah, just spend as much as you can. It'll be worth it. You know, like. Again though, because I've seen some up for £500, and you're like, well, what are you getting out of that? You know, so look, I'd say anywhere between, if it was up to me, 100 to 200. I think you know, you're not going to get much better from a £200 pay to a £500 pay. Do you know what I mean? They're just trying to get some extra cash off you then at that point.
Yeah.
Anywhere from 100 to 200, I think it's a nice range. And of course, if you can't afford that, then yeah, absolutely go for, you know, £60-50. You know, nothing wrong with those either. But in a, you know, if money isn't, you know, a problem, that's where I would go for lifters. You note that down now? Do you get notes on that?
Yeah, you'll see me now in my next squat session wearing a pair.
Yeah, I like the Romaleos.
Yeah.
I like the Romaleos too. There's the other one, Tia.
What are yours?
TYR?
Yours red and black, are they?
Red and black.
Yeah.
I got the red laces on them as well because I snapped my old laces, so I got some new ones in there. Well, they're not new now. If you could swap bodies with an athlete or lifter for a day, who would it be?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
James hasn't thought about this
There's
before.
there's no.
There's nobody else.
No.
Not anybody. Not David Beckham.
No.
No.
What,
He's cool though, isn't he?
Beckham is cool as hell, but like Ronaldo's elite.
Yeah, who would I pick?
Or otherwise, it would be it's Ronaldo. Like he'd be obviously number one, or it would be, let's say, someone like Noah Lyles, just so I'd have to be able to experience having that ability to literally run sub 1,000 meters.
Well, I was gonna pick someone fast because that would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
like,
it would, wouldn't it?
Just experiencing that, you know. I think being able to sprint like really, really fast, that would be. But then also, how cool would it be just jumping in Cristiano Ronaldo's body and then having a game of football?
Yeah.
You know, like experiencing that.
And it's not exactly
Or
like
Messi.
he's slow anyway, is it?
Imagine Messi, mate. Like with his skill, you know. But I know not to say Messi in front of you because I want to get out this podcast
Don't get me wrong,
studio.
Messi's a great player. It's just there's only one GOAT, and it's not him.
They're both still playing, aren't
Yeah, I
they?
know. Yeah,
it's crazy.
incredible. Yeah, and it's like it's a bit like when you've seen Federer and now obviously Nadal retired, Murray as well. It's like it's like an end of an era. So when Ronaldo and Messi retire, that is like that dynasty is over with, and I don't think there is some like another two to come in like that. You can't say Mbappe and Haaland; they're nowhere near.
No, they're not. They're not. Those two in their prime were hands down better than anything we've got today.
Yeah.
You think about some of those players as well that were playing in their era.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think one of the most underrated players is of all time? Wayne Rooney.
Oh,
Mate, his ability.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Fast, powerful.
Do you know, compared to
sprayable.
Harry Kane, I take Rooney any day of the week.
Incomparable. Harry Kane's good in the box.
He's good in the box. He's a good finisher. Great on the ball, obviously passing ability and stuff like that. I gotta be honest, I think Harry Kane is overrated.
Yeah,
personally.
Definitely.
I've watched him now a lot. I know he's got a good goals ratio, but he's the penalty taker too, which people don't talk about. He takes a ton of penalties. He gets a lot of his goals from penalties. He's good on the ball in terms of passing ability and finishing. But compared to Rooney, forget about
Yeah,
it.
different altogether.
Different altogether, mate. You think about Ronaldo or Messi standing out, in Rooney's era too.
Yeah.
That front line, mate, of Rooney, Ronaldo,
Tevez was unbelievable. Yeah, good times, good times. All gone
Right,
now.
it's all gone.
Yeah.
Me and you every week.
Yeah.
Just, have you seen the game? Question mark.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes, I have. That game against Newcastle, that's one thing, one positive. Nobody can call us armchair supporters after enduring what we've endured for the
Yeah.
past few years.
There've been like a couple of rare highlights, like Liverpool FA Cup last year, City FA Cup last year, City in the league this year. I remember you said, you could only watch an hour, and you're like, I'm going out for dinner. And I was like, I don't blame you. I was like, we'll probably be 3-0 down. I think we were 1-0 down. And I was just watching it, not expecting anything to happen. I remember texting you then, like, all of a sudden, it's like we won 2-1 out of nowhere.
Well, I was out for dinner, and my face was just pure surprise.
Yeah.
Then he was like, "What?" And I said, "They've won. They've actually won." But yeah, I can imagine I would have gone pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Then. Anyway, should we call that one there? Yeah. Right, guys. I'm going to do this.
Oh,
one.
yeah, taking over.
Do you notice I didn't even offer you?
No, I know.
So disrespectful. Just the disrespect.
But but you still won't do the Patrick Swayze, so it's like, come on, you're not. It's not like you're alpha or anything.
You can forget about the Patrick Swayze. I've got more chance. What have I got more chance doing? I have got more chance getting up on the dance floor by myself, taking my top off and swinging her above my head in front of everybody.
Well, whichever one you want to
And
do,
then-
you do the Patrick Swayze or do that, because obviously I'm there, so I can video them.
We need to get you up dancing.
That's not happening.
That is happening
That
at
is not
some
happening.
point. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed, leave that rating, review, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Boom.
Done.